Vasily Kandinsky was born in Moscow, Russia, in 1866. When he was a young child, Kandinsky learned to play the piano and cello, and he learned to draw. He was always fascinated by color and painted with a musician's sensibility. He used color to show emotions rather than to make an object look real. He loved painting this way, full of color, and became known as an abstract artist. Let's take a moment and let's get started. Beginning with the end in mind, I wanted to make a Kandinsky style background, and instead of leaving it as an ordinary painting, I wanted to apply some of our own look as well. So let's begin by drawing out some interesting abstract shapes and lines into our work. Some circles, some straight lines. When we're done in pencil, we'll go ahead and outline with crayon. Inside each of our shapes and designs, take a crayon. Start utilizing different kinds of shapes and patterns to fill up completely the entire space. Whether it's circles, hearts, curved lines, zigzag lines, straight lines, and perhaps the music may influence you as you continue to work on your project. When you're working on your project, just continue filling up the space with all kinds of interesting lines and shapes that are moving to you. When you have your space completely filled with all kinds of different patterns and different lines and different shapes, your project will look something like this. Let's take a moment now to go get our paint to see a wax resist on top. Add some water to your paint and paint on top of your crayon lines. When the paint goes on top of the crayon lines, you should be able to see a resist, the waxy crayon fighting away some of the paint. If you do not see that coming along, you might have your paint on too thick. One of the things that you can do to help yourself in that part of the project is add a little bit more water to your paint or spread the paint. Think about your job of paint as filling in the white spaces instead of covering over the crayon. My watercolor paints have a lot of water, and if it seems that it's coloring over top of your crayon, try adding just a bit more water. A little more water so that you can see both the crayon and the paint. Continue doing this until you have your painting completely full of paint and that there's zero or little to no white by the time that you finish your Kandinsky style painting. Now that you have your painting done, let's take a moment and set that aside to dry. When you get your self-portrait back from Mrs. Foxen, I want you to take a moment and carefully cut out your self-portrait. You'll notice I went around and I left some areas, and then I could maneuver my scissors into those difficult areas a little bit better. Once I have my self-portrait cut out, then I can take some time and assemble those common phrases into my work. Mrs. Foxen likes to trim down your abstract painting just a little bit. I do that so that it'll create nice frame for your work. Now that I have my self-portrait cut out, I'm going to take some stick glue and stick that down onto the paper. I like to massage it on the backside to ensure a good gluing. Now with these cut phrases, you'll notice that I had to trim it down just a little bit more. Each of your phrases might be a little longer and some of them might be a little shorter. Cut them or trim them down so that they fit onto your work. Your self-portrait might be vertical or horizontal to your painting. Once you decide the arrangement, take each of these strips and start gluing them in an arrangement that works best for you. You can be creative and place them any way you see fit or any way that you like the way that it looks. I hope you enjoy making the rest of your Kandinsky-inspired self-portrait. Have fun, everyone, and happy art making!